This time on Movie Show Plus, Greg Russell sits down with Hugh Jackman and Mark Wahlberg about their new films.
How did we get to this? How did this happen?
Tom Santilli chats with Zoe Kazan, the co-writer of the new indie film Wildlife. And Theater Butter remembers Stan Lee. All that, plus a whole lot more, coming up on Movie Show Plus.
Hey, Stan.
Yeah.
She really meant that much to you?
Brody, I'd give it all up. All of it. For just one more day with her.
Stan!
Hi. Hey, you know, I think he bought it.
I love what you two are doing with this house, but what are you gonna do with 5 bedrooms? You guys are obviously never having kids.
What was that look?
I did not do a look.
You're doing a look right now.
There's no look.
Have a good fight, guys.
There's so many kids in foster care, and they're having an orientation.
Ellie, people who take in foster kids are really special. The kind of people who volunteer when it's not even a holiday. We don't even volunteer on a holiday.
Over 500,000 children are currently in foster care. The county puts these on because they can match a lot of kids and parents quickly.
Look at the big kids.
Everybody's avoiding them. I'm gonna go and say hi.
But they're teenagers, okay? They use drugs and they watch people playing video games on YouTube. We're not equipped for any of that.
Hi! Just FYI, we can all hear you.
One of the cool parts is, obviously, there's comedy, of course. People want to laugh. But just the underlying message, is a really good one about, hey, if you got an opportunity to do something like this, go out and do it to make somebody's life better. Mm-hmm. Is that what attracted you guys to it?
Yeah, I mean, there were certainly many things that were really appealing about this movie. And the first one being that, Sean Anders, who was our writer-director, it's based on his life, and he and I made 2 movies before this. And being able to kind of play him or a version of him, it was all, there were so many upsides to being involved in this project.
Lizzie comes with 2 younger siblings.
3 kids? Too much.
Oh
my God.
They're adorable.
Yeah, it's chaos. It really is. And what's refreshing about it is how honest they are about how challenging it is. And they're like, at one point, this was a mistake. It's not, and that's, I think, really refreshing and very funny. So, and it's true. It's what a lot of parents go through, adoptive or biological. So hopefully families will really relate to that and appreciate the kind of candidness of it.
Let me fix them, okay?
Thanks, Daddy.
I just got my first daddy. Oh, what?
You suck. I want some of that. Hey, honey, can I help you with anything?
No.
What are you doing to my phone?
Look at what this boy texted her.
Is this that kid, Jacob? Hey,
I saw the picture you sent her, Jacob.
You're lucky I'll end your life right now, Carrot Top.
we're gonna call your mom.
You're going down today.
So what do you think of that, Jacob?
My name's not Jacob.
What? Okay.
I've never known a guy more talented at untangling politics so that anyone can understand.
Gary Hart
is bringing bold and inventive ideas into American politics.
It is a gift, and he wants to share that with people.
Hart is pushing groundbreaking reforms
on education and foreign policy.
I want you to think about the opportunity that we have right now.
I got a soft spot for the Lions because I did a movie there and I went out and I spent some time there and saw some games.
Yeah.
Saw a preseason game, and then I saw 2 games there. So
great. Well, we'll have to get you back.
Yeah.
Especially on the whirlwind tour for this movie. It's just kind of fascinating because you think, how 30 years ago that just blew up and disrupted the whole campaign and shut everything down.
Yes.
Today, the story might be hot for 2 days and get beat out by a goat riding a unicycle.
Right.
On the 3rd.
Yeah. I think, it's really fascinating to see a scene where probably the next president of the United States is in an alleyway with 3 journalists at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night. No one had ever been there before. No one knew what to do. There's a sense they're standing there like, what do we do? And of course, it's never happened since. So it was this incredible turning point. At the beginning of the movie, you see Gary Hart having a whiskey with members of the press at the bar at the end of the day, you know, and they were friends. They travelled around together. There was a civility there. And everything changed after this.
There is no privacy. The cameras go everywhere.
The one thing I ever asked was don't embarrass me.
Senator, you had sex with that woman?
Can't be serious. There's no need for that.
Don't you think you owe it to us to be forthcoming?
Owe you?
You're running for president.
I'm aware of that, Tom. It's in the paper.
Well, you have a responsibility.
I know full well what my responsibilities are. Do you know yours?
And if you are like me and you wake up this morning and go, how did we get to this? How did this happen? You know, if you're anything like me, watch this movie because it'll give you actually a surprising insight into a part of history that could actually be one of the key turning points. It's a complex issue because you could say, oh, well, we shouldn't have that microscope on political leaders, but then you look at Watergate and we're all like thankful that that happened, you know, that there were these young, hungry reporters digging and digging and digging to find out something that actually we did need to know about. Or we, Americans, I'm an Australian, sorry. But I think...
We take you.
Yeah.
You're with us.
It's a question that is going to be different for everybody. But really, the question the movie is asking is what is important? What flaws will we accept in our leaders and what will we not accept? And hopefully, when you see this movie, there may be some heated arguments in the parking lots.
You, always a pleasure seeing you. Always
Great to
best
see you
wishes
too,
from my wife Rita in Detroit.
Say
who you always
hi
say
to
hello
Rita.
to.
Hey, Rita.
All right.
In a matter of days, Hart's campaign has collapsed.
We're talking about how you get through today without pissing away everything we've all worked for on this campaign.
We lose this, we can kiss the White House goodbye.
Check out MovieShowPlus.com to watch this episode online and for exclusive content, extended interviews with Greg Russell, and a complete archive of movie reviews with Tom Santilli. Also, make sure to like and follow us on social media and on our Movie Show Plus YouTube channel.
Rose's Pickles, the best in Detroit.
The best anywhere.
Your grandma is 85. Do you want to watch them put her into a hole and then watch the pickle recipe go into the hole with her?
A cucumber sits in a jar, and all the ingredients turn it into something wonderful.
This Farfallon scheme of yours has caused nothing but sores. If you don't stop, you are going to be bigger schmucks than the schmuck that caused your puppy to plots.
Pony Up Game by Venture Group, bringing back family game night. The game is called Pony Up, where one horse will win the race, but several players will win the pie. You'll be transported right to the racetrack. And best of all, you don't have to know anything about horse racing to play Pony Up. Just look at your cards. They represent your horses. Roll the dice to move your horse forward. But don't roll the house's number, or you'll pay and pay and pay. The pot grows bigger the closer a horse gets to the finish line.
9 pays 2.
Experience heart-pounding action and the thrill of victory. Pony Up Game has a casino-quality premium felt board, making your gaming experience feel authentic and genuine. It's horse racing fun for the whole family. Pony Up Game by Venture Group. Bring back family game night.
Zip-a-dee-doo-dah, zip Yeah. My, oh my, what a wonderful day.
You should be kissed and often, and by someone who knows how.
Well, I suppose you think you are the proper person.
I might be.
But the captain of the Enterprise. It was fun.
Lots of new movies opening this weekend. Let's get to it. If you want to know what it sounds like when I absolutely loathe a movie, go look up my review of the first Fantastic Beasts film. I gave it an F, and I stand by it. It was not only an insult to the Harry Potter franchise, it was one of the worst films of all time. There was little in the way of plot, the performances were excruciatingly painful, and, spoiler alert, it ended with the wizards waving their wands, repairing everything that had just happened, and wiping the minds of the muggles that had witnessed it all. If they can just do away with what happened, like, what's the point of it? Well, unfortunately, my mind has not been wiped clean, and I entered Fantastic Beasts 2 with extreme caution. The crimes of Grindelwald, it turns out, aren't quite as egregious as the crimes of the first movie. Yes, this movie is way too long, at over 2 hours and 10 minutes, and Eddie Redmayne still was terribly annoying to me. This is not a good movie, but I am relieved to tell you that it was not nearly as bad as the first one. If your response is, "Tom, I really liked the first one," there's really no helping you, but you'll probably enjoy this one too. The upgrade here really is that Grindelwald himself, used as shock bait in the first film and played by Johnny Depp, is at least a passable villain. None of this chaos, though, is worthy of sharing even the same universe as Harry Potter and gang. Like, I get it, you're clamoring for more Harry Potter, and you'll take what you can get. But we all deserve better. Fantastic Beasts 2 still feels inconsequential, especially because this is a prequel to the originals, and we know that nothing too catastrophic can happen. There's a lot of craziness, some jumbled up action sequences, but not enough heart or joy to really hang your sorting hat on. Fantastic Beasts 2, The Crimes of Grindelwald, gets a C- from me, which can be considered a rave review if you compare it to my review of the first film. So draw your own conclusions from there. Opposite the Fantastic Beasts movie this weekend is one of the best films of the year. A Private War is not only one of the best films, it's one of the most important films given what's going on in our country. It's the true story of war correspondent Mary Colvin, a fearless journalist who risked everything to put herself on the front lines, shedding light on some of humanity's greatest atrocities. The movie is raw and real, and Rosamund Pike gives an Oscar-worthy performance. It never preaches, but it shows you firsthand just why investigative journalism is so vital to our democracy. And it'll leave you furious when you stop to consider that a patriot like Mary Colvin is currently being referred to as enemy of the people. Colvin didn't look at the world in black and white, but attempted to paint it in the colors that she saw, no matter the price. Do yourself a favor and go see A Private War. I give it an A. Another great movie this weekend is Widows. It's a heist movie that's in the same vein as Heat or The Town, and it's just as good. Except this time around, the team of thieves are all women, thrown together out of need rather than want. It features an all-star cast led by Viola Davis and Michelle Rodriguez, but it also stars Colin Farrell, Liam Neeson, Robert Duvall, Elizabeth Debicki, and Carrie Coon. It's directed by Steve McQueen, who last did 12 Years a Slave. So there's talent abound, and it pays off in a thrilling, emotional film that is sure to be a crowd pleaser as well as a critical darling. Widows gets an A-. Also this week, the Coen brothers are back and have a new movie that premieres on Netflix. It's a Western anthology film called The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Also, there's a dazzling little gem of a film called Wildlife. Stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Carey Mulligan that's worth seeking out as well. For more detailed reviews of these and other movies, please check me out on Rotten Tomatoes. You can go to the site, search the critics list to find Tom Santilli, and you can scroll through all of my recent and not so recent reviews. Another good way to find my stuff is to follow me on Twitter at Tom Santilli, or go to the website movieshowplus.com.
Flows and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air and feathered canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds' illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds.
I don't belong here!
The panic is attacking me!
Oh boy, golly, Bob, howdy.
I'm not a toy! Hey, somebody get him before he pokes an eye out.
Rose's Pickles, the best in Detroit.
The best anywhere.
Your grandma is 85. Do you want to watch them put her into a hole and then watch the pickle recipe go into the hole with her?
A cucumber sits in a jar, and all the ingredients turn it into something wonderful.
This farfallon scheme of yours has caused nothing but sores. If you don't stop, you are going to be bigger schmucks than the schmuck that caused your puppy to plots.
I really dug Wildlife. I thought it was super cool. Talk a little bit about, just the idea that writing is like in your blood. Both of your parents are screenwriters, Academy Award nominated screenwriters. Why are you so passionate about writing? What does it do for you personally?
Oh, wow. Gosh,
Start
I
off with
really
a deep
think
one.
everybody... No, I mean, it's a really good question. It's a good way to ask that question. I grew up with two parents who are writers, so I got to see firsthand, like, the joys and pitfalls of that life.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that on an absolutely personal level, I sort of think everyone should write. I think it's so good for the soul. Writing the plays I've written, the screenplays I've written, and also all the writing that I've done that no one will ever see, that lives on my computer, all the terrible plays, bad short stories,
Sure.
All of that has allowed me to have a private relationship with my creativity. I think that that's kind of invaluable, especially because as an actor, you're always waiting for someone else to give you permission
Yeah,
to
sure.
do your work.
Sure.
And, that can be really hard on the psyche.
Tell people a little bit too about the, a little bit about what the film is. I know that there's some social issues kind of too. The movie takes place in the 60s, but there's some very kind of prevalent themes in it as well. In terms of even like the gender roles or things, the dynamic of a family shifting. Just talk a little bit about that in terms of what it is that people might expect going in.
Yeah, so Wildlife is a movie about a family starting to fall apart in Montana in 1960. And Jake Gyllenhaal and Carey Mulligan play this married couple, and their marriage is starting to crumble, and you're seeing that through the eyes of their son. So in some ways, it's like a movie about divorce, even though it's really also about a family trying to stay together and figuring out a way how to be individuals but still love each other. You know, it's been very emotional, I think, for people who are children of divorce, who have been through that themselves.
Sure.
We keep hearing from journalists and critics and friends about their own emotional connection to the material, and that means so much to us.
Sure.
I think it's also about a time in which women's roles and men's roles are more rigidly defined. And I think Jake's character and Carey Mulligan's character, they're both struggling against and with those sort of gender roles. You know, what is a man supposed to be in 1960? What is a woman supposed to be in 1960?
Well, I truly, truly appreciate your time. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. Is there anything else, if people were trying to seek out this film, do you guys have any things like set up with the movie, like social media or places people can find out more information?
Yeah, so you can go to my Twitter, first of all, which is Zoe in the Cities, at Zoe in the Cities. At Wildlife the Film is where our movie's Twitter and also where our movie's Instagram is.
Perfect.
And then you can also go to at IFC Films for information. Any of those places you can see where to buy tickets. What we're playing in a handful of cities right now on Friday. And today, Friday, we're playing in more. We'll play in more next weekend. We're doing a slow rollout.
Cool.
We're really counting on word of mouth. So I just say, if you see it and you like it, tell 2 friends. Help spread the word, because we're a really small movie with, a really small P&A budget. Yeah. And, we really do rely on people loving our film and telling people about it to get the word out.
What's going to happen to us? I don't know.
Hello everybody, my name is Maximilian Helfman and welcome to Theater Butter. I hope you all had a great week last week, but unfortunately yesterday, Monday, November 12th, we got some bad news. Legendary comic book writer Stan Lee, the god of Marvel in my eyes, unfortunately passed away at the old age of 95. Because of Stan Lee's impact on the entire film genre, film community, I wanted to use this week's episode to take a look at Stan Lee and the impact that he has had on film as a whole. Now, if you don't know, Stan Lee is one of the original Marvel comic book creators/writers. He created characters such as the Fantastic Four, X-Men, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and the Hulk, along with many other ones. Stan Lee essentially created the comic book genre alongside other people like Jack Kirby in the 1960s. In the Silver Age of comic books, he had started a revolution. These are comics that my father grew up reading as a child and teenager and collecting, and this is a whole culture that was formed over this one man and his characters and his stories. He had created the original superhero, the flawed character who's just trying to do good, and I think that's what made these superheroes that he created so perfect, because they were just like everyone else, just like you. At least I hope we're all a little bit like superheroes. But other than writing comics, Stan Lee in the past few years has been a huge support to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Not even the MCU. All of the original films that came out based on his characters. I'm sure all of you have gone and seen a Marvel film and seen Stan Lee's cameo, but those have been going on for so long. He made his first cameo appearance in the original 2000 X-Men, and I wanted to take this opportunity, if you guys have not seen those films, I want to show you the first couple cameos that Stan Lee has had in Marvel films. These were the superhero movies that I grew up with, the original Incredible Hulk, X-Men, Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. These are the films that I would go watch with my father. And when this old guy with big glasses on came on the screen, who I had no idea was, my father explained to me that was Stan Lee. He was the creator of these characters. And it almost made it feel like every time you watched a Marvel movie, you knew that it was in the right hands because the creator of that was in the film. You could always count on seeing Stan Lee in a Marvel superhero film. And for me, it made it feel kind of nostalgic. Stan Lee's characters will always be remembered. I still have my X-Men and Spider-Man and Hulk and Iron Man comics that I read basically yearly. But overall, I really think that this kind of shows how what you do right now really can make a ripple effect, whether you're here or not. Anyway, rest in love, Stan Lee. You will be missed. I appreciate your work and everything that you've put into it, and I think the whole world does as well.
Check out MovieShowPlus.com to watch this episode online, and for exclusive content, extended interviews with Greg Russell, and a complete archive of movie reviews with Tom Santilli. Also, make sure to like and follow us on social media and on our Movie Show Plus YouTube channel. Next time on Movie Show Plus, Ralph is back and ready to break the internet.
Get back on the track!
There is no track! I can drive anywhere!
And he's not the only returning hero.
Now you know what you're fighting for. Round after round, you learn more about yourself.
Any and all views and or opinions expressed by me, Tom Santilli, are fully my own and do not necessarily reflect the views and or opinions of Movie Show Plus, any other critic on the show, or anybody else associated with this program.
We got, again, the fans love your sense of humor, and you know, it's...
Well, it's an equal love fest, because I love my fans. I cannot tell you how much I love my fans. They, sometimes at night I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what's it all about, you know? And then I get a letter from a fan, or I read something, or I see something, or I remember something, and I realize it's so lucky to have fans who really care about you. And that's the reason I care so much about the fans, because they make me feel so great. And there's something, if you think about it, that is wonderful about somebody caring about you as I care about them, whom you've never met, who may live in another part of the world, but they care, and you have something in common, and occasionally you contact each other. And this business of fans, I think, is terrific, and I love them all.